We are so pleased to welcome you all tonight to the 116th Annual Dinner and Distinguished Citizen Award Gala of the Commonwealth Club. I'm Gloria Duffy, President and CEO of the club. Thank you so much for joining us and for your support for the club. All of you support and are engaged in the club in so many different ways. Tonight's dinner, as members, as donors, as board members, thank you everyone for all you do to make San Francisco's oldest cultural organization so vital. Tonight will be a very special evening, made even more unique by our holding it in two different venues. We're beginning the festivities here, as you know, at the historic Ferry Building, cocktails, and then our awards ceremony. We'll learn more about tonight's honorees and why they've each been chosen as this year's Distinguished Citizens. After the awards ceremony, we'll take a quick stroll, or for those who wanted, a pedicab ride, across the street, down the Embarcadero, to the Commonwealth Club headquarters. We'll enjoy intimate dinners on each level of our building with one of the honorees, or a couple in the case of the Oberdorfs, on each level. We'll have a brief fundraising activity and a moderated discussion with each of tonight's brilliant honorees. Now I'm delighted to introduce the chair of tonight's gala, who has worked tirelessly over the past year as a volunteer to make tonight's event a success. Please join me in welcoming our gala chair, Mr. Ted Rice, Senior Vice President for Investments at Merrill Lynch.
Thank you very much, Gloria, and good evening, everybody. And welcome to this wonderful San Francisco venue. I just love it. I hope you guys do. I just love this spot, and thank goodness it's not raining. As Gloria mentioned, my name's Ted Rice, and it's my honor to chair this year's Distinguished Citizen Award and Gala Dinner. Each year, we celebrate leaders and luminaries who exemplify the values of the club: bold leadership, a commitment to improving our society, and engaged citizenship. Tonight's honorees personify that theme. We call them champions of a vital civil society. Each of our honorees tonight has shown, through notable professional accomplishments, exceptional generosity, and dynamic leadership, they've all shown their tangible commitment to improving and expanding the reach of civil society. The work they have done will ensure that more people have access to the crucial elements of such a society. Those elements would be peace and security, economic stability, access to education and technology, and all the other attributes of a vibrant democracy. These efforts have been hugely impactful, both here in our community and in fact around the world. This evening, we are delighted to honor Secretary of State Madeleine Albright, John Hope Bryant, Susan and Bill Oberndorf, and a small company called Salesforce.com as our corporate citizen. And now, if I could just ask everyone to raise a glass and join me in a toast to our wonderful and distinguished citizens. We thank them for their invaluable service, their contributions to our local and global communities. Congratulations to our honorees. And now just another recognition. Let's recognize the other members of the Gala Committee, because I certainly didn't do all this by myself, that's for sure. Let's thank the other committee members for their extraordinary leadership that will help make tonight a success. If you're a committee member, would you please stand, everyone's standing already, or give us a wave so that we know who you are. In alphabetical order. Dr. Jaleh Dai, there's Jaleh. Evelyn Dilsaver, you'll hear from her later, Chair of the club's Board of Governors. Gloria Duffy, President and CEO of the club. Anna Mock. Skip Rhodes, I know Skip's here, I saw him earlier. Richard Rubin. Martha Ryan. and Don Wen. It's been wonderful working with all of these folks over the past year, and everybody thanks you for your generosity, your leadership, and your wisdom. Thank you so much, committee members. Now lastly, and most importantly in the thank you department, thanks to all of you for being here tonight, the friends, clubs, and supporters. The success of tonight's event is vitally important to the Commonwealth Club's activities. You may not know it, but tonight's gala will raise over 20% of the club's annual operating budget this year, and it makes it possible for the club to continue doing the work it does, which includes, among many other things, presenting nearly 500 public programs each year, conducting civic programs for younger adults, putting on town hall meetings and expert panels on critical issues facing our society, broadcasting the club's national radio show, which I'll have you know is the longest running radio program in the entire United States. Yes, yeah. Streaming 5 podcasts every week live, which generates over 5 million downloads each year, publishing the Commonwealth Magazine, giving out the California Book Awards, and most importantly, providing a nonpartisan forum for people from a wide range of interests to discuss and build solutions to the key challenges facing our society. And now you'll find in your program these next 2 groups of folks, but let's take a few more moments to recognize 2 groups of companies and individuals who came forward to provide extraordinary support for the club this year. First, our 2019 grand sponsors, Pitch and Kathy Johnson, Susan and Bill Obendorf, a San Francisco family of club members, and 2 very generous anonymous sponsors. Thank you so much to everyone at that level of giving. And now also this year's dinner level sponsors, Bank of the West, Jed and Danielle York, the Honorable James Hormel and Michael Nguyen, John and Tawny Farmer, the Honorable William Draper, Nan and Chuck Geschke, and Roberta and Steve Denning. Thank you so much for your support. Let's show them our appreciation. And now, it's my pleasure to welcome to the stage Evelyn Dilsaver, the Commonwealth Club's board chair, and Dr. Gloria Duffy, president and CEO of the Commonwealth Club. Thank you again so much.
Advance this because he used his own notes. So, Ted, go right there.
Okay, thank you, Ted. And now the reason we're here tonight is to celebrate and hear from our extraordinary citizens receiving the 2019 Distinguished Citizens Award. Tonight's honorees have truly earned the title of Distinguished Citizen. They've each worked tirelessly, whether through acts of diplomacy, entrepreneurship, and philanthropy, or through technological advancement and corporate innovation for the advancement of society, of our vital civil society, and that's what we stand for. Gloria?
Each of tonight's honorees exemplifies in his or her own way a commitment to the values that have guided the Commonwealth Club throughout its 11 decades of history. Thoughtful civic engagement, bold leadership, and a commitment to the betterment of society. The club has bestowed this award on a number of worthy and accomplished citizens since the first Distinguished Citizens Gala was held 31 years ago. I'm truly delighted to present each of our honorees tonight with the Distinguished Citizen Award. So we're going to show you a short film about each honoree and then present them with their award and then hear from them. So first, let's learn a little bit more about our honorees, Susan and Bill Oberndorf.
Susan and William Oberndorf are longtime active philanthropists giving broadly to education, healthcare, and policy-related causes. The couple launched their private foundation, the Bill and Susan Oberndorf Foundation, in 2011 and have provided funds to a broad range of worthy causes. Bill is chairman of Oberndorf Enterprises, the University of San Francisco Board of Overseers, and the UCSF Foundation. He also co-founded the Alliance for School Choice, for which he serves as chairman emeritus. Susan is president of the Oberndorf Foundation and serves on numerous nonprofit boards. The pair have received praise for their fierce commitment to education reform, with contributions to the Center for Education Reform, the Brighter Choice Foundation, All Children Matter, the Friedman Foundation for Educational Choice, and the Philanthropy Roundtable, among others. Concentrating the power of their philanthropy here in the Bay Area, the Oberndorfs have had tremendous impact in this region and beyond.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage our honorees, Bill and Susan Oberndorf.
Thank you very much for this incredible honor. It is daunting to us to be on the same docket with Madeleine Albright and John Bryant. So we want to congratulate our fellow honorees as well. In the Webster Dictionary, the definition for civil can mean either courteous and polite, but it can also mean relating to ordinary citizens and their concerns. Today, there seems to be more incivility than civility. We see this in racial and gender stereotyping and insults delivered through tweets and other social media. We see far too many examples of this apparent non-acceptance as evidenced by shootings in religious centers, schools, and other institutions of society. This incivility threatens all of us. It is through organizations like the Commonwealth Club that encourages civil discourse on a variety of issues that a civil society versus an uncivil society will exist. It is through education, teaching people to be tolerant of others' genders, race, and religion, that a civil society will thrive. It is only through cooperation and mutual respect that we truly become a civil society.
Thank you, Bill and Susan, and we couldn't agree more with your words.
And now let's learn a little bit more about our honoree, John Hope Bryant.
John Hope Bryant is an entrepreneur, author, advisor, and empowerment leader. He is founder, chairman, and CEO of Operation Hope, the first nonprofit social investment bank in the United States. He is also founder of the Bryant Group Companies and the Promise Homes Company, the largest for-profit, minority-controlled, institutional quality owners of single-family rental homes in the United States. He is co-founder of Global Dignity, an international nonprofit striving for the dignity of all people worldwide. Bryant served as chairman on President Obama's Advisory Council on Financial Capability and as vice chairman of President Bush's Council on Financial Literacy. Influenced by his upbringing in Compton, California, and spurred by the 1992 Los Angeles race riots, Bryant's goal has been to bridge the gap between minority communities and mainstream financial resources, and to foster conversation around financial dignity and economic empowerment. He is one of the top-selling African-American business authors in the country, and his powerful speeches and activism continue to inspire countless people.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome John Hope Bryant. We congratulate you for your amazing work over many decades and are very happy to present you with this award.
Good evening, everybody. I'm from the Black church. I'm used to seek and respond. So I'm not here to talk at you. I'm here to talk with you. I'm going to say it one more time, and I want you to lean over to your seatmate or your standing mate and whisper in their ear that freedom is a beautiful thing. And only in America can you talk when other people are talking, and it's okay. But tonight, I want you to listen to me, not because of me, but because of the Commonwealth Club's important message. So everybody, just for a minute, give this great club a round of applause. Honor to my wife, Shatra Bryant, the other honorees, you beautiful people who are doing well and doing good, Secretary of State, Salesforce. Look, we're sitting in a moment in history right now. But history doesn't feel historic when you're sitting in it. It just feels like another day. That's why it's important that I encourage my nonprofit partners, like First Republic Bank that's here, and Wells Fargo that's here, and Union Bank that's here, and all the heroes and sheroes that are here to support what they're doing. And when we think about The Voice, this is one of my greatest honors ever, because they've heard everybody. Everybody comes through these vaulted halls. And somehow they thought that my voice, our work, rose above the din and deserved a little attention. Why is this important? Because only in America could this meeting be possible. Think about the diversity that's here. Look around you. The women running organizations, folks coming from Eastern Europe, now Secretary of State. A man and a woman who descend from immigrants, who come to this country and built an organization big enough that they can focus their time on giving back. But think about if you were in Russia. You say something against your government, you disappear. In China, great country, but you disappear. Only in America can you curse out your government and show up to this evening event and have a cocktail. But freedom is not free. I'm gonna repeat that. Freedom is not free. I'm gonna have this conversation with my friend Jed York, who's on your board, I believe, later tonight, but freedom is not free. Here, this place, civil discussion is now increasingly a rarity. We can talk to each other. We can disagree without being disagreeable. This is part of the American ethos. Here's my philosophy for living, and I think this is the way the Commonwealth Club lives its life. Talk without being offensive. Listen without being defensive. But always, and I mean always, leave even your adversary with their dignity. Because if you don't, they'll spend the rest of their life trying to make you miserable. Whatever goes around, treat others as you'd want to be treated. We can disagree without being disagreeable. In fact, every good marriage is made of constructive friction. Only through constructive friction do we grow. We are a stronger country because we can have these conversations all out in the public. We become larger and better because of this. Which leads me to the reason why I'm so proud to be here. The final reason, and this is word citizen. Abraham Lincoln was a citizen. In fact, he failed at most things he tried to do, had heartbreak most of his life, decided to push against slavery, came up into a political party that is very different than it is today. That was actually chartered to be against slavery, won by the thinnest margin. We had this Civil War in our country. And in 1865, he laid out a vision for 40 acres and a mule. That was January of 1865 for former slaves. And then a bank chartered to teach free slaves about money, the Freedmen's Bank. You don't know about it because he was killed the next month. He wanted to bring former slaves back into the free enterprise system and dared in 1865 to give them the right to vote. And he was killed. You fast forward to 1968, another citizen, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., not a governor, not a mayor, not a president, of the United States of America, not royalty from Europe. A young black preacher with a passion to change the world and eradicate poverty in his lifetime. 70 employees, $500,000 budget, and he changed the world, and he did it without firing one shot. And he died on a balcony in 1968 with my mentor, Ambassador Andrew Young, talking about poverty eradication. And he said this, and I quote, "You cannot legislate goodness, you cannot pass a law to force someone to respect you. The only way to social justice in a capitalist country is economics and ownership." The color's not white or black or brown or yellow, it's green. Today, whether you're white, black, red, brown, or yellow, you want to see some more green. Can I get an amen? Amen. See, that wasn't a black amen, it wasn't a Latino amen, it wasn't an Asian amen, it was just an amen. Today, the issue is class and poverty, not race and the color line. The new movement's in the suites, not the streets, which means this constituency you have brought together here today of powerful and important people from all walks of life who want to see a nation and a world better is the business plan for the future. I am not gonna stop until I finish what Abraham Lincoln started, until I finish what Dr. King started, until we make free enterprise work for all of God's children, until I inspire you to do more, to dig in, to give more, to show up more for the Commonwealth Club. I'm done.
Thank you very much, John, and over to Evelyn.
Okay, now I'm trying to figure out where I am. Oh, okay. And now let's learn a little more about our corporate honoree, Salesforce, and Suzanne DeBianca, who will be accepting on behalf of the company.
Salesforce is a pioneer in the technology of cloud computing, the concept of software as a service, and integrated corporate philanthropy. Guided by the vision of founder and CEO Mark Benioff, Salesforce develops applications that don't require an IT person's expertise for businesses of all kinds. Salesforce has had positive impacts in the Bay Area and beyond through a commitment to sustainability, operating as a net zero carbon emissions company. They also provide technology, community engagement, and strategic grants to local nonprofits through salesforce.org. Salesforce is the first recipient of the Commonwealth Club's Distinguished Corporate Citizen Award. Accepting on behalf of the company is Suzanne DeBianca, Executive Vice President of Corporate Relations and Chief Philanthropy Officer. And she's the co-founder and former president of the Salesforce Foundation and Salesforce.org. Suzanne initiated the company's one-to-one-to-one model of corporate philanthropy and is responsible for their stakeholder strategy, which includes corporate giving, community relations, and sustainability. Under her guidance, Salesforce continues to lead in the realm of corporate philanthropy, sustainability efforts, and corporate social responsibility.
Hello and good evening, everyone. I am honored and humbled to accept this award on behalf of Salesforce. And I always seem to also sort of get speaking spots right after people like John Hope Bryant, so I'm going to keep it short. I'm excited to be here for a number of reasons, but largely because as I was sort of thinking about the mission of the Commonwealth Club and the role that you've played in society for so many decades, I thought of your mission around finding truth in the world and setting it loose and setting it free. And I thought that's an incredible value that Salesforce shares with you. And I thought about today, just today, on the House floor, we had the Equality Act passed, finally. So even though our founding fathers had enough foresight to put it in the Bill of Rights, we're still working hard as a society to increase and create equality for everyone. And this is something that Salesforce stands for, that I stand for, and I've had the privilege to have been there since the very beginning. So when you think of the Salesforce Tower and you see it, you can't get away from it here in San Francisco. Think of it as a symbol of equality and as a symbol of finding truth in the world and letting it loose. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Suzanne. Thanks for all you and Salesforce do for the community. So, our next honoree needs very little introduction. Let's take a moment to review some of Madeleine Albright's many accomplishments.
The first woman to hold the position, Dr. Madeleine Albright is best known for her tenure as the 64th Secretary of State of the United States under President Bill Clinton. Her notable career as a diplomat, professor, author, and businesswoman is legendary. She has served on the National Security Council as Foreign Policy Advisor to the Democratic Party and as Ambassador to the United Nations. She is founder of the Albright Stonebridge Group and Albright Capital Management. She's chairperson of the National Democratic Institute and president of the Truman Scholarship Fund. She is a distinguished professor of diplomacy at the Georgetown University School of Foreign Service and author of 6 best-selling books, including the 2018 New York Times bestseller, Fascism: A Warning. In 2012, former Secretary Albright was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom by President Barack Obama in recognition of her many contributions to international peace and security.
Secretary Albright, thank you for all you've given to our country and our community.
Thank you so much. I am truly honored to be recognized as a distinguished citizen because lately it seems that the only thing distinguishing me from others is how old I am. Not long ago, after giving a talk on my most recent book, someone came up to me and said, "Madeleine, that was just wonderful. You are so clear for somebody your age." So I wasn't sure whether I should thank her or stick her with one of my pins. In all seriousness, I'm very glad to be here and delighted to be along with these wonderful honorees. I live in Washington, where bipartisanship is mostly absent these days, so I'm thrilled to receive an award from an organization that actively promotes difficult discourse on a wide range of topics. And it's even a greater pleasure to be joined this evening by such deserving recipients, all of whom have played such an important role in improving civic life. I was asked tonight, along with the others, to give briefer more thoughts on what is clearly a theme, on what civic life actually is. I was introduced now just as chair of the National Democratic Institute, which supports democracy in challenging environments around the world. And so I'm always thinking about different aspects of civil society, particularly in places where it is threatened. And these days, there are more and more of those places. And so it's more and more important that we're doing our absolute best to strengthen civic forces. And those forces thrive in settings where ideas can be exchanged freely without the fear of retribution. They derive strength from those at all levels of society who recognize that only by banding together in common cause can anything uncommon be achieved. I have just written a book about fascism. It has a very bland title, Fascism: A Warning. And it is because what happens is when a leader tries to divide civil society rather than to bring people together. A strong civil society absolutely demands dedicated participation from the grassroots, but it cannot survive without ethical and respectful leadership at the grass tops. In other words, above all else, robust civil society is exactly that, civil. And by that I don't mean the public discourse has to be dull, but it should involve treating other people with respect, listening carefully instead of just talking incessantly, and making decisions based on reason. So it's the job of today's awardees and of those sitting before me today and those speaking there to speak up for civility, to support those who seek to unite us, and to speak out against those who sow division. So we have to do all that we can in pursuit of consensus and sharing understanding, and that, thanks to the Commonwealth Club, that has really become a pursuit of that incredible group. So once again, I'd like to thank the club for this recognition, and I look forward to the remainder of our evening together. And I'm always delighted to be in this incredible city of San Francisco, where there actually is civility. Thank you so very much.
All of us at the club are humbled by the achievements of our honorees and so grateful for what they've done to protect, defend, and enrich our society. So let's have all of our honorees back on stage for one more round of applause. Bill and Susan Oberndorf, John Hope Bryant, Madeleine Albright, Susan DiBianca, thank you for your service to our community. I have one more thing to do before we move to our dinner. That is to thank the incredible, amazing staff at the Commonwealth Club who put together tonight's dinner. Kate Steffi, Kimberly Maas. Thank you for an amazing event.